one. Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here, back with another 100K Coaching Program Student interview. Today we have the awesome Eva with us. Eva's going to be talking about her journey as an RTT therapist and working in a very unique and very incredible niche, which I want to dive into. Eva's got an awesome story of how she built basically her business from scratch. She's been in the program for a little bit of time now, and how she's constantly growing the business, what she's learning about her niche, and ultimately what she's doing to grow her business. So firstly, Eva, thank you so much for joining us. This is quite cool.
Thank you for having me. Really excited.
Absolute pleasure. Well, look, let's start from the start as we normally do. Let's rewind all the way back before you got into therapy and things like that. What were you doing in life, and how did you get involved in RTT?
So basically I grew up working in a family business, which was, I'm in Greece. I was born here. I grew up here, and I grew up working in my family restaurant, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I ended up leaving Greece, and I ended up working on super yachts for a while. So being around super wealthy people. And that's where I figured out, it hit me at like 19, that I don't want to be working for other people. That was a major step, because I was like, obviously I've been working since 12, doing different things. And I basically realized, because obviously in the family business, my dad was my boss, so it's not the same. But then when I left, I started working for other people. I was like, I don't want to do this. I hated being told like what to do, and your mood is often depends on your boss's mood and how they treat you, and you've got no say in it. And I was like, no. So I saved some money. I quit my job. I traveled the world for a year with my boyfriend, a year and a bit. And that's when we went to India, we went to Thailand. I did some meditation courses, some yoga courses, and I became a yoga teacher for a little bit. And I loved it, but it wasn't it. Like, I knew it wasn't it. And we actually ended up teaching yoga to people that came here to Corfu, the island that I'm on in Greece. And I met this lady, and she talked to me just one random evening. We did sunset yoga. So we do like sunset yoga and snacks and whatever. And we had this Scottish couple, and she was actually friends with Marissa Peer. And she was like, have you heard of Marissa Peer? And I was like, no. And she said, oh, you should really check her out. So I checked her out. I saw that she was doing this course called RTT. And I was adamant. I was like, I really want to do this, because I've been interested in mental health and everything ever since I was 14. I think I watched The Secret or something. And that triggered like that.
I think that's where a lot of people start with that movie. Yeah.
Honestly, like it all just started there. And I remember I used to like pause the Secret and write down stuff that, the quotes and sentences that spoke to me that I liked. And then I got into more books and into more and more. So I've always been interested in how the mind works ever since I was really, really young. And then coming into RTT, it was amazing, because I've been doing a lot of meditation and energy and yoga and all that, but it was kind of surface. I mean, you can meditate for 3 hours a day, but you're not getting, that root is still there. You may be coping with it fine. You may be feeling a lot calmer, but the root's still there. And I knew that I could feel that. And so, I saved my money. I got into RTT, and that's how it started.
So when you quit the family restaurant, what did your mum and dad say about it? Were they pleased? Were they a bit upset?
No, they were just like, get out of here, go explore the world. So they were supportive, definitely.
How long have they had the business for?
Oh, years, ever since I was a baby, like 25 over that.
Yeah. Okay, so saved up your money, went and did the RTT course, obviously learned more about the mind, unconscious, conscious therapy. What was your biggest takeaway from the course?
The RTT course?
Yeah.
I'm a very matter-of-fact person, and I loved how it made sense. So I love how, you're taught these rules of the mind. This is how the mind works. This is how the subconscious works. This is how you go back to it. This is how you heal. This is how you move forward. That's what I love. There was no like airy fairy in a way. I had enough of that, because I remember I did a lot of courses in meditation or whatever, and I just remember not understanding it, not it making complete sense. And I had a lot of questions. With RTT, I didn't have any questions. I understood very well how it worked. And I was really excited to, and obviously I saw the difference in myself and my family and other people.
Mm-hmm.
I gave away a lot of free sessions
Free
in the beginning
therapy.
to random people on the internet
Yeah.
in Facebook groups. I was like, who wants a free session?
Yeah. Was there any
But
crossover between yoga and RTT?
Not really. I mean, I saw what, like, you mean in
Yeah, the way they
the way
think and the
that
practice of it and learn the mind and how it works. Is there any crossover?
I think so. There is, but with RTT, like I said, it's a lot more straightforward because yoga is something that's been around for ages, right? And that means that it's been interpreted, and the scripts and the Sanskrit, whatever, they've been rewritten a lot of times. And people tell different stories, and there's different types of yoga, and sometimes there's like an argument between what yoga's practice is best and whatever. So you go down that route because it's been around for years, and of course it's extremely valuable, and I still practice yoga today. I love stretching, I love breathing and whatever. But yeah, I think with RTT, coming straight from Marissa Peer, she's the one that put it together, she's the one that discovered it. I think that's the best thing, because it's like Hinduism and different religions, over the years they've been interpreted by different people, and it can get a bit complicated. So yeah.
So you finished the course. Did you do the live training or the online training?
I did the online training. I'm actually trying to do the live one because I really want to do it, but obviously because of COVID it's been on hold. But I've done the online one.
Okay, so you finished your course. What happened next? You went into giving away the free sessions. Did you think you were going to grow a business from it, or was the RTT still thing like a personal type thing, or was it all business focused for you?
Yeah, so in my mind, before I started the course, basically Marissa P.I. or someone in the marketing team had said that you charge about £250 or euros per session. In my mind, before I did the course, I was like, okay, even if I do one session a day with someone, I don't know who that someone was, where I was going to find them, but I thought like everyone was going to come knocking on my door because this is such an amazing strategy and technique. But yeah, in my mind, I was like, I'm just going to do one session a day, 250 euros a day. I live in Greece, all the expenses, it's not like America or England or whatever. The living expenses are very, very different. And I'll be fine. And that was my idea kind of going into it. Yeah.
And then, so finished it, started setting up the business. Did you pick a niche straight away, or were you just looking for anyone that would pay that sort of money, sort of anyone you could work with?
So I started looking into a bit of marketing when I finished, and a lot of it was the old school way of go to gatherings and start talking about yourself, which doesn't apply to me where I am now, because it's not in Greek, and I can't do it in Greek, and I don't want to do it in Greek, and yeah, it's not necessarily something that people can really afford around here, to be honest. And so that was troubling me at the time. I was on some Facebook groups, and I basically was giving away free sessions. I did quite a few of them, and I remember there was one person that was thinking of doing a second one. She was like, "How much do you charge?" And I was like, $80. Looking back, I'm like, but yeah. And then there was another lady that I helped stop smoking, and I told her, I told her $100, and she tried to get me down to
from 100. Wow.
Less. So yeah, that's where I was before someone recommended you, and I basically found your YouTube videos, I think, and then I found your website, and I saw the webinar, and I was like clicking and answering the survey so fast because I just really wanted to join. Yeah,
because we had our strategy call, and that must have been, you've been in the program July. Okay, so we're coming up coming up to 12 months.
Yeah.
So what were the issues that, well, actually, did you learn anything, obviously working at your mum and dad's business? Did you speak to them about ideas around running the business, or did you just see that was just going to be totally different?
I think I thought it would be totally different, just because working online mostly, well, where I am now is completely online, 100%. And with people from abroad and everything, it was kind of drilled into me because of where I am, and people, the way of living here is very, very different. And it was kind of drilled into me since I was very young, not from my parents, but just from people around me, how you can either live here and have a laid back, relaxed life, but not make a lot of money. Or you can go to the UK, you can go get a 9 to 5 somewhere in a city or whatever, and have more money, but not be as happy. So like growing up, those were the two options that not necessarily my family, but just people around me were trying to push.
Yeah.
So it was complicated at the beginning. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. But obviously the thought of not wanting to work for somebody else was a big enough motivator to get the business to work. Yeah.
Massive motivation.
What was it about it working for other people? What didn't you enjoy about it?
I don't like being told like what to do, basically. Is what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And also, you know, if your boss is having a bad day, or on the yacht, because obviously I was really young and I didn't get treated nicely.
Sure.
And I actually like reported it and nothing happened. And then
Wow.
I just told the management, actually, I was like, these years are going to play a role in who I'm going to become, and I don't want to surround myself with this environment. So I left. Yeah. But it was just basically not being treated fairly, and just being told what to do all the time. I just didn't, it's not for me me at all.
Yeah, I don't know how people can do it either. I think my only job was collecting trolleys at the local supermarket when I was like 14 or something, and that was harsh enough, let alone doing a 9 to 5. But we had our strategy call, and you dived into the program. When you first dived in, what was that like for you to actually start looking at the business correctly, looking at niching and pricing and marketing and all that sort of stuff? What was your biggest aha moment from that diving in?
I was really motivated to start because I remember we had the call, and I was like, "Is there any way to avoid video when I enter your course?" And you were like, "No."
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, oh, all right. But I think the biggest aha moment, I think, when you gave us that spreadsheet and you were like, if this is where you want to be, what do you need to charge? And just the structure. I love the structure. I like with RTT how it made sense. I loved how this made sense.
Very
so I just really I think that's what I loved. And everything was new to me. So everything was an aha, because I was like, that's really cool. That makes sense. And obviously the whole video thing took me a while to get used to, but now I actually prefer video to writing a post.
Yeah. Now, I think what's most interesting, a lot of people don't know, you and me had a lot of, and this was maybe a couple of months after the program, I think you struggled for a while, as everybody does, on the whole nailing the niche. And we had a lot of conversations back and forth. I think we had a couple of calls as well. What was it like to, and we'll talk about what your niche is, because I think it's awesome that nobody else is doing it as well. What was the troubles with getting into the niche and trying to find out what it was and get the wording right? Where were you struggling the most?
I think with the niche, I had no idea what my niche was going to be. And so I interviewed, I talked to a lot of people about, in my mind, I wanted it to be women with depression and anxiety, helping them overcome that.
Yeah,
I was adamant. I wanted it so bad. I wouldn't let go. And I thought, obviously, that's quite broad. And we talked about that, and I realized that. And then I wanted to use past experiences that I've been in. Like, I've been in a narcissistic relationship in the past. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to help people with that. But that didn't really click either. And then when I came into the whole retroactive jealousy thing, obviously there's not a lot of information out there, right? And although it's something that I have personally experienced, it was intimidating because I hadn't practiced healing anybody that has this. Although I'm sure that my healing, I healed myself with RTT, but not anybody else. So it was terrifying. And also, like I said before, I know that with retroactive jealousy, a lot of men suffer from it. So it's probably maybe 60 or 70% men and the rest women.
Okay.
And I didn't want to work with men. I just didn't. I don't know why, but I just was like, I don't want to. And so I tried to avoid it for a long, long time. I tried several different things, researched several different niches. And when I said, okay, this is it literally was in October. So it took me from July to October.
It was that long.
Figure all of this out. And I made like videos about different things, different niches, exploring different niches and everything. And I think when I realized, so I started making money in July, thankfully. And I remember I paid the course off faster than I ever. Yeah, because in the beginning, I didn't have the money at all. But I remember I went to my partner and I was like, do you think we could use this last money that's left for me to enroll in this course? And thankfully, he was really supportive and he was like, yeah, go for it. But I ended up making a little bit of money in July, and then August is when I started to shift the niche. And then in September, I had a few retroactive jealousy content and videos out, but I had switched niches and I was doing something completely different. And in September, even though I was making videos and focusing on a separate niche, I was still getting clients from retroactive jealousy. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm getting people are contacting me for retroactive jealousy, and I'm not even marketing myself for that. So I think that this is the niche for me. And then in October, when I finally like settled down and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on.
Isn't it interesting? And I said this at the start of the program, of course, that once you nail the niche, you don't even have to be that good at marketing. The niche will pull people in. And I think what's so unique about your niche, and I want you to explain it to people so they can understand it, is there's not a lot of information. There's not a lot of real experts. There's a lot of fluffy information about it, but no one that dives into it as deep as you do. And again, that's why the niche has grown around your business and stuff. But for people that are watching this that don't know, what is retroactive jealousy? What is it?
So retroactive jealousy is basically intrusive thoughts, anxiety, and stress around your significant other's past. So it has been linked to OCD as well. So it's a form of OCD, and it's basically jealousy regarding your partner's past and just intrusive thoughts and mental movies about what they did in the past when they didn't even know you.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it causes stress and anxiety. And isn't that interesting? You went to that niche, but it didn't work. That's the uniqueness of really finding such a small part of that niche with a very unique name that it has. And again, that's why it's worked.
Yeah, exactly. Because stress and anxiety and depression, not depression so much, but anxiety is a word that's just tossed around so frequently nowadays. It could be caused by anything. So yeah, it's really important to find something specific, I think.
Yeah. So how does someone know they've got that type of jealousy? Is there certain triggers that trigger it off? Is there certain thoughts and actions that happen when you've got this?
Yeah, so it's when you have these intrusive thoughts, normally what people like to do or feel like they need to do, it's like a compulsion, is ask their partner loads of questions about their past.
Okay.
Either that, or they stalk their partner's exes on social media, or they're
really?
Wow. They read like Reddit threads about what does it mean if my partner's done this? What does it mean if, you know what I mean? So they'll Google stuff. Those are the three main things that people do. And especially with the asking questions part of it. In the beginning, the partner is quite supportive and they answer questions, but then as time goes by, there's a lot of shaming and blaming that can go on from the sufferer. So they can be like, how could you do this? This is unacceptable. What's wrong with you? You know, what are your values? And this is not crazy stuff people do. It could just be like as simple as, you know, dating a few people before you or whatever. Even kissing people like people have RJ over the fact that their partner kissed someone in the past.
Wow.
And of course, if you go to someone that doesn't have this or doesn't understand it, they'll tell you, just get over it. You know, you're being ridiculous. But it goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah. What does what does a transformation look like? It's very interesting that that would be where it starts. How do your clients know when they've transformed? What's the difference you see?
The difference is that they can go out, they can go about their everyday life without getting these intrusive thoughts. And the thing is with RJ is when you get these thoughts, there is some sort of emotion attached to these thoughts, right? That's why they keep coming back. So what we do is, and the reason there's emotion attached to the thoughts is because you subconsciously attached some sort of meaning to these thoughts. So what we do is we look at the meaning they've attached to these thoughts, and then we shift it from there instead of just trying to, on the surface level, coping mechanisms, mindfulness, meditation, all of that. So what it looks like is basically not being bothered by your partner's past anymore and being able to be in a relationship happily, because that's something that I see, it's not talked about enough, what a healthy, happy relationship looks like. There's so much information out there on how to not be in a narcissistic relationship, how to not find a toxic person, how to not be in a quote unquote like bad relationship, but no one talks about, okay, so what does it look like when you get into a healthy relationship? Because people think that, okay, you're going to meet someone and they're going to be the one and then everything's going to fall into place and you're going to live happily ever after, but that's not true. And then when someone meets a decent human being that they're like, okay, I could spend the rest of my life with you, I can see that, and things don't go, and basically they have difficulties or things come up, people get confused because they're like, well, is this maybe not the one if there's like difficulties and hard things coming up in the relationship? And it's not the case. So I love focusing on what a healthy relationship looks like, instead of, which obviously we do need the people talking about what a toxic relationship looks like, but it's also important to focus on, okay, well, this is what you don't want to do. What does what you want to do look like, if that makes sense? So yeah, that's what I'm focusing on.
How does it feel now to have nailed this niche?
It feels really good. It's really an amazing feeling. Yeah, really, I'm just really calm, really relaxed. I'm not really anxious about, like I used to be about finances and all of that. And I'm really excited about the future as well. So it feels really good.
Yeah. What's it like to work for yourself and have a stable business and a growing business?
It's been my dream. It's been, honestly, like, this is all I've ever wanted, is to live where I want to live and make my own money. Because like I said, I don't like being told what to do. And that just doesn't mean I've been like this since I was a child. And this is what motivates me, because even with like parents, I don't want anyone else to tell me what to do, because if my parents were to ever help me out financially, it kind of gives them a say in what I should do. And just the fact that I'm living life on my own terms, helping people, doing what I want and being independent, no one can, say anything. And I really love, that's my favorite part, I think, of everything. Yeah.
It's a cool feeling. How do your parents feel about it? Are they happy for you as well?
Yeah, they're really proud. They're really happy.
And you're young. This is the start of business career for you. Like, there's going to be a lot of expansion to happen. So, and what a lot of people don't know as well, this just came to me. I can remember, and this was quite recently, you had actually been kicked off of Facebook for marketing several times, lost your account. I think someone might have hacked your account at some point as well. What was that like, going through that? And the reason I bring this up, because people have to realize business has a lot of hiccups. There's a lot of stupid things that'll go wrong. Spanners will be thrown in the works, so to speak. What was that like for you going through that?
It was not nice in the beginning, especially because, this is a new niche. I haven't exactly experimented that much with it. And to have people that like either coaches or have courses out or whatever, trying to tell people how to fix this, kick me out of groups, or like I got emails telling me, hey, I've kicked you out of the group because you've been doing this, this, and this, or someone actually made a video about.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Seriously, this was like in the beginning of everything, and someone made like a 20-minute video talking about how, not my name, but basically how everything I do
is wrong,
without mentioning my name, is a scam. He called me a snake oil seller. This guy. Again, not mentioning my name, but he was like, hypnotherapy works for in the moment, but then it doesn't last, and just be aware of this, and this, and so that actually made me not want to like focus on the niche even more when this person said that. I mean, I got kicked out of all the Facebook groups, and then even when pretty much all of them. And then in October, November, when I was more stable and I was getting a lot of clients a month, I wake up one morning and Facebook's decided to disable my account. And
That's right.
I was like, I still wasn't really familiar with YouTube that much. And now I see that it was a blessing in disguise, because now I get the majority of my clients from YouTube, which is amazing, because you do less, kind of like you just put videos out there, and you just sleep, you wake up, and again, I just got a strategy call now. So I love that. Obviously, I'm still on Facebook and everything, but
you found your asymmetry. Now,
Definitely.
as bad as this sounds, I'm glad it happened to you right at the start, because it shows you what real business is. A lot of people paint business as just be nice, put out the right energy, people will love you, people come kicking down your door, you'll have tons of clients. It doesn't work like that. And I think building that resilience right at the start, especially in this new niche, was important for your growth, because you realize it's not the only time it's going to happen. You're going to have ups and downs, and business is going to throw things at you. But I think it's interesting as well that when you really go out and help people with a real problem, you're going to get a lot of people pushing back and saying, no, that's wrong. We'll kick you out of groups. What you're doing is incorrect. But I really think that really touching on a real pain and a real niche that exists. And we have to realize we can't be friends with everybody. This is business, and this is unfortunately what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. There was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of questioning. Someone said I question RCT. And I was like, I don't care. It works. I don't care if you question it. It works. You can go ahead and question it all you like.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no, definitely resilience must be built.
Yeah. So what's been like one of your favorite clients thus far? Has anything really cool happened, or anything unique that sort of stumped you a little bit or really shocked you, as in a positive way, of course?
Yeah. I think just people that I work with messaging me, months later and being like, we got engaged and I haven't had RJ in months, or another one got married and I'm like looking at these pictures on Instagram of her in a wedding dress, and that kind of thing really, really makes me happy.
Yeah. So what's the goal with the business moving forward? You're stabilizing, just moved into the new house, got constant income coming through. You've pretty much taken over the niche because there was really no one in there. Now you've just sort of really settled your feet in it. What's the goal with the business moving forward?
I definitely want to, I love what I'm doing right now, and I definitely want to help more and more people.
Sure.
It's been since July. I still haven't finished the program. I'm like on week 6 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think retracted jealousy is a form of OCD, and then there's another thing called ROCD, which is getting compulsive thoughts about people, not about people, about your partner, whether or not they're the right person for you. So everything can be going fine in the relationship, but you're getting these. So basically, what happens is people get these thoughts of, oh, my partner doesn't look good today, maybe they're not the one for me, and then they're like, why did I think that thought? And they get freaked out, and then these thoughts come back over and over and over again, and it can cause like severe pain. It's called ROCD.
Okay.
So I think I want to expand on different, I do basically want to expand on healthy relationships and help people understand how to build one, because thankfully I'm in one, so I can kind of, I can relate, and I can teach people, when someone says healthy relationship, yes, okay, it's important not to get into a toxic one, but when you have found someone that's a decent human being, like I said before, it doesn't all fall into place straight away, and there will be difficulties, but it doesn't mean that, so many people nowadays are just like, oh, I'm just going to break up and focus on myself, and it's like, you don't, which is great, but there is also beauty in healthy partnership.
Got it.
So focusing on that going forward.
Yeah, realistically, it's sort of the same niche. It's just stemming off into a different direction. It sort of sounds like over time, Eva, you'll be able to be like the relationship expert, but you'll know things about relationships that nobody else has sort of touched on, if that makes sense. So that niche will broaden, which is quite cool. And that's a really good place for growth and scale as well.
Yeah, really excited.
So for people that are sort of getting into business, maybe starting where you started, what would be your biggest words of advice for them, you know, with what you've been through, becoming anti-fragile, resilient, going through all the troubles you had with the niche, kicked out of Facebook groups to where you are now and really sticking with the niche? What would be your biggest piece of advice for them?
I'd just say, I think believe in yourself and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, and keep pushing and be resilient. And yeah, and remember that you're not just doing this for you. You're also, it's great to be able to have an income and to do what you love and to help people. But when you're pushing, you know, now I get messages from people and they're like, you know, even if it's not a client, they're like, oh, thank you for existing. Your page is really refreshing. I really love it. And you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the people that you're helping as well. So you're contributing massively to, you know, to society, and you're helping people. So you're not just doing it for you. Because what I struggled with is once I started seeing an income and once I started seeing the life that I want happen, there's also, because it's unfamiliar, there's a little bit of a pushback, and I freaked out a little bit, and I was like, okay, I need to work on actually accepting that this is actually happening to me and start freaking out, you know, and pushing it away sometimes. So yeah, remember that it's not just for you, it's for other people. And yeah, you deserve it, definitely. And also, obviously, in your course, everything is there step by step. So I would just say, go get Scott's course and then follow the steps, you know, and you can't go wrong. You can't.
Yeah, borrow the money from your partner, join the course, and look what happens, which is quite cool. And it's interesting, you start making all this money, you start having the success, and we know it internally as therapists and coaches, but we start saying, hang on, is this real? Is this right? Should I be earning this amount of money? Should I be really doing this?
Seriously.
I always think that's such a weird thing, that, you know, that success issue that we have, but you've overcome it. Like I said, you've only been in the course not even a year yet. And look at all the cool things you've done. So it's a real big scope for where this is headed for you. And I'm sure it's not going to be the only issues you have on business, touch wood it is, but you're growing, the business is growing. I mean, you're super young when you started this, which is awesome. And a lot of potential and growth as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where this actually goes.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Awesome. Well, that was awesome. Very straight to the point story, which is what I like. But Eva, we'll be able to chat definitely in the future when this grows out of control, which is what it will, and you're hiring VAs and doing all that cool stuff as well. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let you get on with your day, and we'll see you in the Facebook group. But thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Scott, for having me. Really nice
My pleasure.
to talk to you.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Eva.
Take care. Bye.